Our third speaker is a poet, a writer, a Tibetan refugee, and most importantly, a passionate activist. As of 2019, he has been taken into preventive custody, arrested or jailed 16 times for short durations by the Indian authorities for his activism. When he was 22, he traveled to Tibet. However, he was arrested, tortured, and sent back to India, saying that he was not Tibetan because he was born in India. Despite facing significant obstacles and repression, he remains hopeful for the future of Tibet and continues to inspire others through his activism. Please welcome Mr. Tenzin Gyatso.
Namsama poche ne zamliana koso chanyi te mojane zamli shide tu so kone shenobu Dalai Lama Shenobu Dalai Lama Namsama poche ne zamliyan la koso chanyi te mojane zamli shide tu so kone kyam goyi shenobu Dalai Lama kone kyam deyi shenobu Dalai Lama 용기 셈 툭바 대바 녹주 제와 니랑 아주 세세 지야다 자물링기 레바 모티체 네 투비야 탕 레바 템보 용투비야 체도 드링 아주 된 좀데요 야와 덴진 갸조 베베 직보기 자베 라마다 듀노르 마레 잠불링 쿄 용리야 예감 낭주 막주 갭 예감 낭로리야 작바 잡아탕 고소 루소 제베 두조 딘데 찍래야 잠블린 교회 용기 미창매기 셈텐사탕 이제 녀사 레바추사 레바디 잠블린 교회 용기 레바추사디 겨울무지 디무송자 드링 안조데 마셴바들이야 세셰치야탕 신이 된줄래 니바템부 용아체도 드링 안조데 좀데요리 디무송자 드링 안조데 개천부지 좀야디 잠블린 교회 용라 좀게요리 Pöpa, Himalaya Gegyogi Mirik Chazang, Sokpo, Gyagar, Dimaimbe Zamlin Kyo Yongi, Zamli Shide Tunge, Zamli Shingi Shide Deva Yonge, Samadu Zomdeore. Dimusonda Tringanzo de Arinangi Tonger Chesho Nigo Nalia, Trinde Sani Shunungone, Tati Nansha, Yakure, Nansama Zombare, Digitone, Trinde Gaurumuji Ten. 즉 별백값을 양아주 상매기 쌤 누구보다 파샤 뽑아원네 가싱 조싱 쌤 조명안에 들린 거죠 좀더 두충돼요. 디냠동의 직진이지 인지나 슈대충. The reason why we have gathered here is not just for Tibetan people. It's not about His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It is for world peace internationally. Everywhere you go in the world, there are wars, there are corruption, there are people killing each other. At that time, if there is one person, everybody can look up to and seek hope. It's His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is at ripe age of 89. He keeps hope for all around the world. And therefore today, as Tibetans, people from the Himalayas, Indians, from Mongolia, and from people around the world, this day and this incident, this meeting, this gathering here is to reinstill our faith in love and compassion and all the values we ourselves find it difficult to practice sometimes. But this is the aspiration we all stand for. This is the aspiration that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been standing up for, and this is all we believe in. It is unfortunate that in the world that is so sexualized, where the word suck, if you go into the morphology of the word, you will see it had come into practice in this sexualized form only in the 20th century. If you see this word suck, this is the first action any human being would do at the birth. First action every human being, every living being would do in sustenance, in living. There's no shame in the word at all. It's just the perspective, the perversion with which the Chinese media planted it in the world. The Chinese media planted this 10-second clip with perversion, and that is crime. This is a cyber sabotage in the world against the Tibetan people. Today, when we are standing up here, it's not just about the values we stand for. We see as Tibetans that it is an attack on Tibetan people and our culture. That's why we are standing here. This is one of the reasons why it pains us deep in our heart. But we are not working out of anger. We are not working out of our anger. We are working with peace, because that is our culture. That is what His Holiness the Dalai Lama teaches us to do every single day. If this kind of perverted action had been done on any other religious leader, there would have been a war. The fact that we are not working out of anger is our strength. It's not our weakness. This is our strength. The love and compassion we have in our heart, it is our strength. And that is uniting not just us, but people around the world are united because the message of love and compassion His Holiness the Dalai Lama teaches us. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, at whose portrait I place the white scarf today, it's not just 87 years old. This is the 14th Dalai Lama. The Tibetan people are led by His Holiness the Dalai Lama for 400 years. And not only that, the Tibetan people believe that the very origination of the Tibetan people came from Patiwu Changju Semba Tan Mantaksemo. Pate again Changju Semba the Mantaksemo, the union of the monkey who was the reincarnation of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of love and compassion. Therefore, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is the father of the Tibetan nation. This is the unique relationship. No one would understand us. This is what we want to say to the world, that the unique relationship between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan people is an entire civilization. And therefore today, when there is kind of attack on His Holiness the Dalai Lama, it's an attack on our civilization and our culture and our people. So therefore this attack, it is not an individual. It's an attack on the civilization, and we are fighting against it. However, the perverted act it is. However criminal it is by planting 20-second video clip and maligning the name and the legacy of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, it's a poor attempt. It will not happen, and therefore we know that this is the right moment to speak up. Now is the time for every Tibetan to speak up, stand up, and use your language, whether you can cry or dramatize or speak or sing or act or make a film. Now is the time to get up and stand up. Up until now, international media had written about us. Now is the time to write the Tibetan story. Now is the time to tell the Tibetan story by ourselves, by bearing witness and speaking our heart to the world. As much as this is an attack on us, we must also know that this is a much larger part of the consumerist culture that is spreading around the world. The globalized consumerist culture is one of the things that is making an effect in this propaganda. Therefore, we must be aware of this, and therefore, I usually say, when we look at any kind of video, any kind of titillating 10-second video, we have to be sure that if you are actually spreading it, you are spreading it with responsibility. It may hurt other people also. So participating in this much sexualized, consumerist, globalized media world, we must know that as much as you gain pleasures in spreading it, there is also a responsibility in it. Of course, we are holding, and this is all about the values we stand for, values we aspire for. And with this, I want to conclude here. We must remember, if we do not fight now, it will be late. And the consumerist culture would just go by fleetingly, and it would just keep in their memory of whatever they said, their accusations. Therefore, it is important to fight back with our words of love and compassion, with our power of love and compassion. And therefore, once again, instilling our faith in His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I'll raise one or two slogans. We say this together. Long live! Long live! Long live! Long live! Media, media! Media, media! Media, media! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Stop lying, Chinese government! Stop lying, Chinese government!